I was struck yesterday by how much affection and how much awe the Queen has inspired, but also how misunderstood her role has been, and I think misunderstood not only by people outside our kingdom, but also by people who have married into her family. I think particularly by Meghan Markle, who has misunderstood this institution completely. I remember the so many great lines. You laugh and cry with us. That is such a good description of the Queen. She has been the human face of our national identity. Despite everything that is said to the contrary, we are a very emotional people, the British. And there we have, hidden within the layers of Stoicism, a radiant humanity. And I think, Prince Harry has been deeply led astray. In the middle of all the family crisis, in the middle of all the crisis that we as a country have gone through, he talked about breaking the cycle of genetic pain. I think he's right that cycles need to be broken and that vulnerability is important and that problems need to be challenged. But I think the lesson that we can learn from the Queen is that many of these things need to be done privately and with that fabled stoicism. And with forgiveness and with kindness. So although Harry was being really quite badly behaved, he was still warmly welcomed by Her Majesty, probably even against the advice of courtiers. Her Majesty was forgiving and loving. And I'm sure her son, King Charles III, will be the same. And reconciliation, I think, is the order of the day. Yesterday, Prince Harry arrived just after the public announcement of Her Majesty's death. But I hope he has a chance to repair the broken fences, to build bridges, to usher in his father's reign in a spirit of calm optimism and a renewal of family ties. After all, his daughter is named specifically after his grandmother. So, dignity and time. Dignity and time, I think these are going to be the two words that are going to be associated with Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth the Great, as Boris Johnson called her. I think that may well be a title that can be bestowed on the Queen. You think of President Biden, who says, we had a long talk. She reminded me of my mother, he says. In terms of generosity, she was very gracious. And it's the time that she took for visiting heads of state, for ordinary people. And her witticisms, of course. Are we supposed to look as if we're enjoying ourselves at the summit up in Glasgow last year? Stoical in the face of the death of her husband. Back to work within 10 days. As you can see, I cannot move. Do you remember that one? And her involvement in the filming of the Paddington episode for the Birmingham Games, for the Commonwealth Games, just tremendous. And the understatement, the understatement of mobility issues, which must have been significantly more compromising. The walking stick, the beautiful walking stick, and the image of her all alone at the funeral of her beloved Prince Philip. if you recall the speech, which was actually delivered by her son, Prince Edward, none of us can slow down the passage of time. And her rejection of the oldie award, Her Majesty believes that you are as old as you feel. But now I think we have to follow Her Majesty's advice, given in person, to concentrate on happy memories and look forward with confidence and enthusiasm. The baton has passed on, and we have begun the reign of Charles III.